Welcome back to Fast Market on the TD Ameritrade Network. I'm Tom White, joined by my co-host Kevin Hinks. But let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment, and that's going to be Landon Swan, the co-founder of LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Landon.
Sure.
All right, so we're talking PayPal. Shares down, as I mentioned, over 55% so far this year. Had a little bit of a PR nightmare here in the last couple days on some released metrics, or maybe some fines for people, but company pushing back against that. Landon, when you look at a company like this in the fintech space, right, they're not immune to the macro environment here. But when you have a customer base of 400 million users across the wide array of their platforms, it seems kind of hard to fathom that this stock is down as much as it is. Is this based on the fact that, hey, it went up way too high at the end of 2021?
Yeah, I think there's some of that. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. In that, a year ago, everything was all about growth, and I think PE ratios got a little bit stretched. And now that we're seeing some contraction in the overall market, of course, the growth stocks are going to be punished for that. But really, I think the story on PayPal is the contrast between today and maybe a week ago. A week ago, LikeFolio was very bullish on this company. I mean, if you look at their purchase intent, it's plus 20 or 30% year over year. Their happiness was 70%, beating all of their competitors. Coinbase, Square, all the others. Digital wallet trend was boosting them. Everything was kind of going in the right direction. And then this release came out just a few days ago. In fact, we featured it Monday to our subscribers. And you can see here the number of mentions of people just talking about PayPal was at an all-time high. Absolutely incredible. And if you look at what happened to sentiment, again, happiness was 70% above all competitors, and now we're about 48% happiness just a week later, and it's still falling. That 48% is as of yesterday. I checked it this morning, and it's actually lower than that now. So it is continuing to drop as we speak. The biggest move we've ever seen in company history. And we've talked about like 5 or 10 points on a happiness being a large move. This is absolutely incredible. I mean, we have never seen anything like this. And it's I think what's happening is they're losing users' trust. And we've talked about a lot of the I guess problems or political scandals some companies have faced in the past, like Facebook with Cambridge Analytica, or even like Home Depot when they advertise on Hannity or something, and people go bananas, and they'd say they're going to boycott, and maybe those people weren't going to buy anyway. But this is different than that. This is actually a non-political movement that is very grassroots. That people read this and they say, wait a minute, PayPal has a claim to my money. They can just take out $2,500 if I say the wrong thing. And so I think that what's happening is people aren't saying that they're not going to use PayPal. They're not saying that they're boycotting. They're actually withdrawing their money. They're leaving the company. They're leaving the service. And this chart that you've got up now, the bullish sentiment, this is also incredible. So just before this announcement, 94% of investors, and this is different than consumers, 94% of investors were bullish on PayPal, and LikeFolio was one of them. Now, after that, you can see where it's fallen to. Absolutely huge drop, 34%, so down 60 points in just a matter of a week. So this is, I mean, we haven't seen a move like this, I don't think, ever in LikeFolio's data. And so this is obviously very bearish. And what's really problematic is that when they corrected the problem, they kind of left it in there. They softened the language a little bit, but they left in the core that they can take out $2,500 effectively if you say something that they deem as offensive or inappropriate. So people are responding with their wallets, and they're voting with their dollars, and they're walking away.
Landon, a largest number of interest in PayPal in the LikeFolio data for the wrong reason is people are interested in PayPal. And this high frequency data that LikeFolio's giving us here, this is LikeFolio at its peak, at its strength, is giving us high frequency data in real time that shows the catastrophic effect on sentiment when it comes to this company. They can deny it all they want, Landon, but now they've got the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau in their door, and those government agencies, they don't go away once they come in. They spend a lot of time there. So now you've got a complete overhaul of this company. Landon, your data that is so vital to what we're looking at here with with PayPal. What are you watching for? What do you want the next data point to be? Are you watching for a plateau or a turning back up? What's the next key data point that you're looking for here?
Actually, you know what I'm personally looking for is I'm looking for competition. I'm looking to see, is Square benefiting from this? Is Coinbase benefiting? Is Bitcoin benefiting? Actually, a lot of the comments, when you look at a qualitative basis, a lot of them are moving away and saying, we have a lot of distrust in a centralized system, and they want a decentralized system. And so a lot of the negative mentions around PayPal are positive mentions in the same mention about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So for PayPal, I'm not sure how they're going to correct this. I want to see that the negativity flattens out. I mean, like I said, it was, I think, 48 or 49 when we started the show. We'll see what it's at this afternoon. We're talking about Spirit Airlines type numbers here. This is really, really unhappy customers. So we need to see that bottom out. They have to do something to suppress people's fears and to calm them down. I think they need to retract the entire thing, frankly. But what I'm really looking for, where I think the opportunity comes in, is where are all these people who are taking their money out, where are they putting it? And so if it's Coinbase, great. If it's Square, whatever, we're looking for that right now. We don't have a clear winner just yet, but we will report back as soon as we do.
Yeah, and Landon, as far as that competition goes, we've recently done a segment with you guys on Square, or Block, as we call it now. And it was pretty negative compared to what we saw in PayPal. Is this something that turns the knob, that maybe sees your data kind of turn positive on Block now, if this continues in this regard? Because a lot of times we all know this stuff, Landon, that eventually consumers bypass it, get used to it, or the company comes out and does something, kind of changes the trajectory of that sentiment. But is this an opportunity in the near term anyway for some of these competitors like Block?
I think so. From a PR perspective, if I was working at Block, I would say, put out an advertisement right now. You can say whatever you want. We won't take your money ever. And just dig into PayPal like that. But it is a huge, huge move for PayPal. If you look at their last quarterly report, active accounts were up 6% year over year. The transaction volume was up 12, total payment volume up 11. The stock reacted well to the report, up 9%. This is reversing years of hard work. This was a once dead company. If you go back, before the split with eBay, this was sort of a dinosaur, and they have completely come back, partially due to Venmo, but they have done a fantastic job grinding their way back in to be a leader of this industry. And now I really think they're giving a lot of that lead away and turning customers into their competition. So, like I said, we've got our eyes tuned on all the competition. I'm eagerly waiting to see if one of those jumps out as the clear winner of this, pick up the scraps from PayPal, but we're going to have to wait for that.
Landon, when LikeFolio comes to us with a different topic for us to focus on, we know it's going to be something special. We know you guys are going to be coming with some big data for us to make decisions on. My question is this, kind of going more with what I was asking. What are you looking, how do you set up the next data point that shows, is this a move to Square? Is this a move to Coinbase? Is this just a move to, other ways? Digital payments not going anywhere, right? So how do you measure, how does LikeFolio measure where this momentum travels? This segment isn't going away, but the people leaving PayPal, how do you measure? How does LikeFolio go about measuring where all this interest goes?
Sure, there's actually two ways. So first of all, we can look at each individual competitor and we look for purchase intent. That's when someone's saying, I'm opening an account at Square, I'm opening an account at Coinbase, whatever it may be. We're looking for those on the individual company level. Then we can also dive into the tweets where people are negative about PayPal and see where they're going. What percentage of people who say, I'm closing my PayPal account, also say, I'm opening a Square account. So we're going to be diving into that. So far, we haven't seen a clear winner just yet. But I'm fairly certain there will be one. But the thing I'm most certain about is PayPal is the loser of all this.
PayPal may be the loser on all this. Now, Landon, they don't have earnings right now, but if you guys had a score just based on this recent data too, because I remember the last time we talked about PayPal, as you mentioned before, pretty good metrics on their last quarterly report, and you guys were relatively positive based on that. But now where are you?
Yeah, we were positive a week ago. They had a strong earnings score that we were looking forward to earnings. I think they have earnings coming up maybe in a couple of weeks. They've now turned negative, and it's continuing to fall. So I think they're single digits negative right now, but that score kind of lags a little bit. It's usually not prepared for moves of this volatility and this velocity. So by the time earnings comes around, I wouldn't be surprised if they're firmly negative 30, negative 40.
Oh boy, and we've got earnings coming up on the
November
3rd of November, so we'll probably get some more clarity. We'll have to have you back on, kind of follow up once you get some more data on this particular space and PayPal, especially on this. All right, Landon, great stuff as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Landon Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio, breaking down I love the real-time data that that they're getting on this, Kevin.